Want to talk about primaries and Adam's support in state races. I don't know which ones you guys are interested in him talking about. I'm definitely interested in your support of Sean Theory just being here in Houston. I mean, I'm a fan of hers, so I'm not critical at all. But it seems as though you are supporting her very heavily. I would like to.
Yeah, it's my biggest play of the cycle, 25,000. I'm so excited to support her. And the major reason I'm supporting her is I do not think that there should be a litmus test on that trans vote. I thought that is just batshit crazy. That's why she has this very formidable primary challenger. She voted with the Republicans on the bill to make it illegal for trans treatment in Texas below 18. My personal view of that issue is I think the age limit could have been 17, could have been 16 maybe, but I think no age limit is insane. When you read about some of this stuff, whether it's the surgeries, which I know a lot of people argue it's past the age 18, although there's other states that allow it before, or even puberty blockers. I think you're making irreversible changes to a young body. And I think that there's a serious issue of consent when it comes to children, right? A child cannot get a tattoo, cannot drink, cannot hire me as a lawyer. If a 16-year-old calls me, I can't sign them up. I have to sign up with their parent. If I'm representing them in a car crash case and the 16-year-old calls me and says, do this or that, I can't listen to it. I have to go through the parent. So it's a very long way of saying I think that she's being very unfairly targeted for that. So that's what we're doing. So it's me versus the woke mob and Beto O'Rourke in Houston. Big showdown. It's going to be a very close race.
Well, and I think what's interesting about Sean is if people had actually, so there's a subsect of people who are very upset about it generally because they really believe in this issue and that. But I feel like everybody else just piled on, because if you sit there and actually listen to the speech that she gave on the floor, you know that she didn't vote that way because she doesn't like trans people, or she doesn't like, that's not the reason. Like, she was very thoughtful in her approach to coming to that conclusion. It was very passionate. She thought about her own child. Like, there was a lot that went into it, and it was very evident from her speech. And so it seems like a lot of these people are just piling on for the sake of piling on because she didn't fall in line with what the Democrats are supposed to do. But I thought it was amazing. I mean, you don't see backbone like that every day on either side. So I thought it was really amazing to see.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be a close race. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so the primary season, I think, is interesting. I've enjoyed following it on the right. I enjoy the right a lot more than the left these days. But as Scott Braddock once told me, you like watching another family have a food fight as opposed to yours. I think that's probably true. And so I think that with Michael's old boss making some good news, I was about to tweet that Ellen was in trouble in that race about 2 weeks ago. I'm glad I didn't, because I would look really stupid after the last 24 hours. But, does Michael feel good about the Ellen race now?
Yeah, it's a shit show, but no, she's fine.
Are y'all talking about the Kyle Biederman, like saying that Abbott endorsed him when he didn't and all this other stuff?
Well, that was like the least.
NRA, he did some speech on the floor about, keeping Brian Slayton after he got his intern drunk and had sex with it. Like, just indefensible position. And they're sending the most ridiculous stuff in her district. It's sloppy, if you ask me. But no, I think Ellen's fine. I think there are some other races that are more interesting than Ellen's.
You think Dave Phelan is in trouble?
We gave him we talked about it last time. I think it's closer than people think.
Prior to the Trump endorsement, I probably would have said no. I mean, I think it would have still been a race, but I don't think it would have been trouble. But I think after that Trump endorsement, I mean, now they're running those ads like with Trump and David's face next to each other. I would assume I haven't heard, but I would assume Trump is going to do something in or around the area. That's kind of Trump country. So I mean, I would be worried if I was running against him with Trump's endorsement.
I guess the Texas Scorecard has a podcast. I'm not going to plug it, not because I don't want people to watch it, because I don't know. What is going on? I'm looking at Texas Scorecard, and who do I see?
Oh, me? I did yes. On what, housing?
I mean, if it's about housing, I'm definitely not going to watch it. I'd rather not be. But I saw a clip from their podcast. I forget the name of the here it is. His name is Luke Macias?
Luke
Macias.
Macias.
Luke Macias. Look at you guys. You know who he is. He's saying that everyone in Orange County is talking about this endorsement. Everyone is talking about it.
But that's scorecard. Luke Macias. How do you not know Luke? Luke is very active.
I don't know, but I think it's so impossible that everyone is talking about it.
Well,
Right.
They're the ones who are pushing this.
I would think, if you think about it, though, David was the chair of the Orange County Republican Party, and Trump endorsed the opponent to their state rep. So I wouldn't be surprised if everybody involved in politics in Orange County was talking about it. Now, everybody, sure not, but everybody involved in politics, I think so. We're talking about it in Harris County, so I would think that it would make news there.
I mean, my view of it, I'm friends with his political team who are running the campaign, and Murphy Nasica. They don't seem that worried about it yet, but obviously they're not taking it for granted. I just get back to the idea of you're a Republican voter, you have voted for him 4 times. The Phelan name in Beaumont is very big. His great-great-grandfather was involved with Spindletop. So we're talking like Texas royalty. And more importantly, he's the Speaker of the House. There's never been a Speaker of the House from Southeast Texas. So if you're some older woman there who's Republican and, again, is not on Twitter 24/7, but just follows it somewhat, are you really voting out the Speaker of the House who has done good things for your district? That's why I think he's going to win by 15, 20 points.
Do you think, though, that and I don't know what Spindletop is because I'm from New Jersey, but do you think that connection to him and his family is stronger than today's Republican Party's loyalty to Trump?
I think the loyalty to Trump's completely overblown. I mean, we all know the races Trump has lost for the last 4 or 5 years. I don't think it's a guarantee that Trump endorses that people win. He loses races all the time. So I don't think that. And I also think that Covey guy is kind of an idiot. And so, I mean, I just don't. I mean, I think Phelan is a very successful guy. I think he has a very known name down there. And again, I don't think it's ever happened where the Speaker of the Texas House is voted out by their district. I mean, that would be national news. I mean, that's who was it nationally? Was it Cantor? Was he the Speaker or the leader who was voted out?
I think the leader,
right?
Yeah, by David Brett.
That was Tea Party, but he was like a guy that lived in D.C. and I don't know. So I think that the Paxton stuff's totally overblown. I mean, I've talked to Republican and Democratic friends who are knocking doors, who are members of the House, and they say no one's bringing up the Paxton stuff right now.
So
more like you had to do kind of thing.
So what other races are you watching or that are of interest to you?
Did he freeze?
Oh, I think he did. So Brad, what other races until Adam gets back? What other races?
I'm just gonna say while Adam's frozen, I don't know. Is the Paxton thing overblown? Maybe, but the bar is so low. Jared Patterson was on a podcast recently, Y'all-itics, and he was talking. He's like, "Yeah, we beat them 37-0 last cycle. They're not going to get the Macias crowd.
Oh, I see.
They aren't gonna shut it out this cycle. So if the Paxton wing gets 4 or 5 victories, that's going to be seen as a success, and it's going to be moving the needle in a certain direction because everyone's expecting them to get their butts kicked